My name is Matthew Floyd, and I'm going to be giving you a speech on macroeconomics, but this time it's going to be a little bit deeper. I want to give you a better understanding of what macroeconomics is. I know in the past videos I've given you quick rundowns of an overall meaning of it, but this time I'm going to give you a better perspective on it. Now let me tell you once again what macroeconomics really is. It's a part of economics concerned with large-scale or general economic factors such as interest rates and national productivity. Okay, now let me get a quick rundown of the four very important things that I was talking about in the last videos. Let's start off with supply and demand. Supply and demand is the amount of a product there is and then the demand for the product from the consumers. The price of the product basically depends on the demand of the product, which is basically means that it can be regulated by consumers. So the price of the product can be a lot lower if there's not a high demand for it. But if there is a high demand for it, they can raise the price of the product where the company can make more money. Now let's talk about the next thing, which is cost and benefits. And this is basically what most businesses use to analyze their simple decision making. And cost and benefit is the cost of a product that a consumer buys and how much they can benefit off of it because of the price. Most people want to get something so cheap to where they could buy the cheapest thing and benefit off of it the most. Like tires, for example. You can get very cheap tires and maybe get the most miles off of it. It can vary. Now the next thing I'd like to talk to you about is scarcity, and we all know what scarcity is. It's when there's not enough of something, and there's not enough of the product for the consumer's demand. And this could possibly be a good thing for a company because they can raise the price on a certain product and make more money from the consumers. But this can also be a bad thing because a certain company could be missing out on thousands, hundreds of thousands, or maybe even millions of dollars. And the last thing I'd like to talk to you about is incentives. And incentives is basically your overall needs, wants, desires, etc. And it basically provides you motivation to pursue your preferences for like simple things you want, like household items, cars, things like that. But now let's go into the deeper meaning of it. I want to talk to you about national output. And national output is basically another term for gross domestic product in a certain nation. This basically measures the value of all the finished goods and services produced in a nation in just a single year. And the next topic is unemployment. And we've been having a lot of issues with unemployment lately due to the coronavirus, which is causing problems across the entire nation. And unemployment occurs when people are out of work and that are actually searching for employment. And this is what millions of Americans have been doing. Luckily, things are starting to open back up to where people can start working again. But they calculate this percentage by taking the number of people who do work and have jobs and taking the people who don't work. Basically, people who don't have jobs, and they can calculate the unemployment rate in America. And the last thing I would like to talk to you about is inflation. Now, inflation is a sustained, generalized increase in the prices of goods and services in an economy. Now, not everything is technically considered inflation, and let me explain that to you real quick. Inflation, or when prices of a certain good increases in a certain season, it does not mean that it's technically inflation, because the next season later, it will be cheaper. Like if something is expensive in springtime, the price of the good will go down. Or no, if the price of a good in the wintertime is expensive, it will go down in the springtime, which doesn't necessarily consider it inflation. And the two websites that I used were Investopedia.com and LemonLearning.com. Thank you very much.